Hello. My producer said I need to do more of this. Oh, this is like going on for 20 something seconds. That's weird. I thought I hit start a second ago. I need a hair clip. This is not working. Anyway, I just thought I'll come on here and talk about this movie that I saw yesterday called The Shift, which was this really weird sci-fi retelling of the book of Job from the Bible. And everyone on the other side was saying that I was spoilering, which I felt like that was obvious when I said I was doing a movie review, but maybe it wasn't. So, hi, yes, I'll be talking about that movie. If you don't want spoilers, go away. Easy. Okay, fascinating. Now that we've gotten that out of the way. So, this sci fi retelling was about this dude named Kevin. And he is in his world. He loses all of his job, and then he meets this beautiful woman named Male. Male ends up being his wife. They have a life together. They have a child together. But, it's the book of Job. So I think you can tell where I'm like starting to go with this. He loses her, and he gets in a car crash. After this car crash, this dude approaches him named the benefactor, and the benefactor's like, bro, I will offer you like all this stuff. I'll give you a molly of your own if you just do what I want. And he's like, which is what? And the benefactor is like, shift people from one reality to another and be in the places that I cannot be. And he's like, what the heck, dude, you're mental, like what the heck are you talking about? And so he shifts a waitress out of the restaurant. And Kevin's like, bro, what the heck? Where'd she go? And he was like, oh, I shifted her into another reality where she'll probably be put in an insane asylum because of what just happened to her. And Kevin's like, okay, you're the devil. I realize that now. No, I don't want anything to do with you. And so he starts panicking, as one does when the devil, approaches you. And he starts praying. And the benefactor is like, bro, what are you doing? You think your God wants to help you? You're a terrible person. You suck. You're dog water. Blah, 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 blah. And it gets to the point of where Kevin's just on his knees, just praying in the middle of this restaurant. And everyone is kind of like, what is happening? And the benefactor is getting more and more mad. And eventually, he just says, Kevin's finishing praying, and he says, amen. And the benefactor, disappears. And, nobody knows where he just went. So, fast forward 5 years, Kevin is stuck in this alternate reality because after that car crash, the benefactor shifted him to another reality. And so he has been living in this alternate reality that's not his own for 5 years. And people are hunting him because he is the Kevin that refused the benefactor and was the last person to see the benefactor. And everyone thinks that he made the benefactor disappear, which is true because he prayed him away. And so, he's been living here for 5 years. He's been, writing the scriptures that he remembers and then, typing them out on a typewriter and giving them to this guy named Gabriel at his work. And all this time, all he wants to do is get back to his Molly. That is it. He just wants to go home. And so he's we see for a little while how this dude's been living. Christianity is illegal. This world was destroyed by war and politics and all that good jazz. And so we see all the turmoil that they've caused and how people are trying to survive and whatnot. And Kevin's trying to do his best to just help people live in this world, all that good nonsense. And so the benefactor all of a sudden comes back, and everyone's like, oh, what the heck, you've been gone for so long, blah 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 blah. And Kevin goes to this place called a Vico View, which is this technology that the benefactor gave the people of this crappy world so they could see their doppelgangers from another world, and they could see the better lives that their doppelgangers have. But you can't go there. You can just look at it, kind of situation. And so Kevin's all sad one day, and he goes to this place called the Vico View, which is where you get to go see those alternate realities. And he sees his Molly from his reality, and he knows that it's her because of a necklace that she was wearing. And he's like, dude, that's her. I got to get back there. And the guy who owns the bike of you is like, well, you can't, dude. You don't got a shifter. Like, you need that. And so Kevin is like, I'm going to get a shifter. I'm going to come back here. We're going to figure out which reality that Molly was from, and I'm going there. I'm going home. So he goes to his friend Gabriel, who's the one that he's been giving all of the Bible verses and like Bible stories that he's been typing out to. And he's like, dude, I need a gun. I'm going to go after the benefactor. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to force him to give me a shifter device, which is like this wrist thing. And I am going to get back to my Molly. And the dude, and Gabriel is like, bro, you're crazy. You're nuts. This is insane. Absolutely not. And he's like, at some point, Gabriel, you got to choose side. What side are you on? And Gabriel's like, fine. And he hands him a gun. And he's like, I'm always strapped. Guns are illegal, if you guys couldn't tell, in this reality and world, except for the shifters and the people who, control the population, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so he gets a gun. He goes and he finds the benefactor. The benefactor is at a restaurant with him, another Kevin from this reality. And so, like, he tries to, like, storm the restaurant, and then when it's like that weird sci-fi situation when you go through the door, you go back to your house, and then when you exit the door, you're back at the cafe kind of situation. So, like, he can't get to the benefactor, and he's trying really hard. And at some point, he just realizes, like, he can't get to the benefactor. And so he's in his apartment, he's having, like, a mental breakdown, all that good stuff. And he's like, all right, God, what do you want from me? Because, like, he got rid of the benefactor in this reality because he prayed him away. And everyone's been kind of like, where's your God? Like, why is God still testing you? Like, you should be rewarded right now. Why is this happening? Like Job's friends, where the Job stuff comes into play. And so then the benefactor shows up to his apartment, and he's like, you really think that your God's going to be here again? But my offer still stands. Come work for me, and I will give you, the Molly that you want. Blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no. And so, like, a shootout starts, and it turns out Gabriel was one of the bad guys, and Gabriel had a shifter device, and he dies. And so Kevin, like, grabs the shifter device in the midst of a firefight. And it's like one of those really dramatic situations. And he grabs the shifting device, shifts out of that reality. He shifts into a lake. Then he shifts into the desert. Then he shifts into a mental asylum where that waitress that he originally had told the benefactor to shift out of the reality back 5 years ago at the beginning of this whole disaster. And she actually is in a mental asylum. So, and she's like, take me with you. And he's like, I don't know how. And then all of a sudden he disappears and he goes back to another reality. With this time, he found a version, not his version, but it was a version of Molly. Or was it his version? I can't remember. Anyway, so he's there with her and he's kind of like, oh my gosh, I found you. And she's like, you divorced me. Like, why are you all of a sudden, like, acting like this? Why are you saying that we're meant to be together? And he's like, there's too much to explain. And, like, he has gunshot wounds in him right now. So she's kind of like, what the heck is, like, happening? And then he's, like, trying to, like, talk to her. And then obviously the security guard of this mall is like, bro, what the heck? And he's calling for security. And then all of a sudden, poof, he disappears. The benefactor shifts him back to the Vika room where he was when he was trying to run away. And so, that's disgusting. So the benefactor's like, are you serious? Like, my offer still stands. What are you going to do, Kevin? The Kevin who refused, blah, blah, blah. Your God is not here. He abandoned you, yada, yada, yada. In the midst of this, like, whole, like, evil, villain speech and whatnot, the Vika View owner's cat randomly shows back up. And this cat had been, like, missing for, like, 4 years. And so Kevin just kind of laughs at that because it was just significant because it showed that, it's still possible. Like, after all this time, you still can do the right thing. And then so, like, he's like, no, you're a liar. You're the deceitful one. Nothing that you say is true, all that kind of stuff. And, the benefactor is getting, gradually more and more mad. And he's like, all right, I'll give you a choice. You can have your Molly and you can have the life that you want back, or you can give Tina, her life back. Because, like, remind you, she's been in a mental asylum all this time, and, like, she appears, and, like, she's all panicked and freaking out. And Kevin's like, if I choose my Molly, I'm choosing you, and I can never choose you. So I obviously choose Tina. And so, like, Tina's family comes in, and her daughter and her husband, and it's like this beautiful thing. And then all of a sudden, everything goes white. And Kevin is waking up on the bathroom floor of the restaurant slash bar that he was at the very, very beginning of his of the movie when he first met his Molly. Molly, of course, doesn't know him, so he goes out there and he talks to her, and they obviously hit it off. They have daughters together, and they have a beautiful, amazing life, and happy ending. That's the movie. Honestly, it was a pretty good movie. Slightly confusing. Yes, I still have a lot of unanswered questions, but I think you're supposed to have a lot of unanswered questions because, like, the whole point of it is that with every choice you make, there's different possibilities of, outcomes and lives and things like that. So, like, you're never truly supposed to understand what could have been because, your choices sort of like make a million different realities kind of situation. Anyway, I thought it was a really good movie. Everybody should go see it. Like, seriously, people should go see this movie. It was phenomenal. Confusing, but very, very good. Another amazing movie to go see from Angel Studios is Journey to Bethlehem. If you want to go watch a happy-go-lucky movie about the birth of Jesus that's a musical with costumes and dance numbers, and it's just all sorts of fantastic for all my theater kids out there, go see Journey to Bethlehem. But if you want to go see a movie that's like a little bit of a punch in the gut to like our reality and our world and what we're doing or not doing, go see The Shift. Like, it was something else. And yes, the reviews by the critics are very biased. Nobody likes this movie who's in Hollywood because it kind of exposes like the evilness and the way that you can like literally sell yourself to the devil to, get what you want, to get your fame, to get your fortune, to get your record label or your movie the special movie role that you want. But it was just really good. And I would not listen to anything that I am IBM, whatever the movie review thing says about it. Go see it for yourself. It was really, really interesting. It's at its worst, however, it's over Christian. I can't read from this far away. My mind says that word is proto. I can't read. This text is too small. But anyway, go see it. Phenomenal. Anyway, I really got to go finish this music box because I really need to wrap it before Christmas. And I'm having a lot of issues right now. Okay, cool. That was all I was going to talk about. Ugh. Peace out.